Hey Astro Babes, I'm Ashley of More Than Your Sun Astrology, and welcome to As Above, So Below for the week of June 10th through June 16th. In this video, I'll bring light to what the planets are doing up above and how those themes may show up for you in your life. As above, so below. At the end, I'll pull just one card for additional guidance and clarity. Before we start, please hit all the buttons, subscribe so that you can be notified when I post and never have to wonder what to expect for the week ahead. Before I get into the horoscopes for this week, I had a question asked by one of my followers that I wanted to address. The question reads, I love your weekly insights and always find your information eerily accurate. However, I'm wondering why there are times when events don't happen on the day you state, but sometimes do happen around the day. So this is an absolutely fabulous question. Thank you so much for asking it. In short, the answer is that we're able to feel the energy of the planets coming together before they actually connect. And then after they connect, we're still able to feel the energy as they begin to separate. For example, on Tuesday, Mars will square Pluto. So the exact date that Mars will connect with Pluto in a square aspect will be Tuesday. However, we've already been feeling these two energies coming together probably 3 days or more prior. Tuesday is the day that I mentioned because that's the exact connection day. We'll still be able to feel the energy of those two planets as they begin to separate, probably 3 or more days after Tuesday as well. Depending on which planets we're talking about and what aspects they're making to each other, sometimes you can feel the energy up to a week before and after. So it really is the astrology for the whole week that we're talking about here, so be mindful of that. If you have a question that you'd like me to address in one of these videos, feel free to leave it in the comments, or you can also go to my website, mtysastrology.com, scroll all the way down to the Contact Ashley button, and email me a message. All right, let's get into the week. This week, the energy, for lack of a better word, is more challenging. Many of the planets are having tense or challenging conversations that may reflect in our lives as frustration or a sense of feeling defeated in a way. Some form of just negative, depressive type sulking energy, low vibe energy. Starting at the beginning of the week on Tuesday the 11th, Mars will make a 10th square to Pluto. In our charts, Mars speaks to how we take action, the way that we choose to assert ourselves or not. Also, Mars likes to argue and fight. He's the god of war in Roman mythology. So you might find yourself in a situation where you're feeling overly competitive, wanting to win at all costs. Pluto in your chart can represent like this primal survival instinct. Imagine you're walking your dog down a quiet street and all of a sudden your dog sees a squirrel. He stops, he hones in on it, his ears stand straight up, his tail goes up, and then all of a sudden he goes for the squirrel. That's Pluto. It's the primal dog instinct inside of all of us. So at the beginning of the week, we're feeling God of War energy mixing with primal dog instinct. If the wrong person comes at you in the wrong way, you're going to be ready to attack. Power struggles are a big theme that always come up whenever Pluto is in the pictures. People can be more disagreeable just because they don't want to agree with you. The debate on who's right and why is not going to matter because everybody's going to be so focused on proving their own points, they're not even going to listen to the other person. Try to stay mindful and not allow yourself to get sucked into these frustrating moments. If you find yourself feeling at wit's end, it's gonna be helpful to have some healthy outlets to reach for. Exercising is probably one of the best physical activities I can think of. Turning the music on really loud and dancing can release a lot of tension. Sex, of course, is a good way to let out some pent-up steam for you and a consenting partner. Really just finding a way to exert your energy in a way that's positive. That's the key. On the next day, Wednesday the 12th, there'll be another 10th square, this time between Mercury and Saturn. Mercury in our charts speaks to the way we communicate, how we listen and respond to other people. Saturn, I talked a lot about in last week's episode. You can go back and watch for more insight, but he can bring struggles and hardships. These two together can look like you making plans with someone, they change the plans without telling you. And then when you ask about it, they respond with, "Oh, I thought you knew." And you're like, how the hell could I have known? And then it turns into a big disagreement over miscommunication or lack of communication. And it probably even goes deeper than that. Maybe you feel like this person did it on purpose because they're always inconsiderate and they never think about what can be an inconvenience to you. This week, these types of thoughts are going to be more common because Mercury is about our mental thoughts and Saturn can be pessimistic, leaving you to think about everything that's bad and negative, only seeing the worst in something or someone. If you've ever seen Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore, the donkey, is a wonderful example of someone who has Mercury square Saturn in their natal chart. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say Eeyore has Mercury square Saturn in his natal chart. Winnie the Pooh would approach Eeyore like all jolly and optimistic, like, "Hey Eeyore, it's a lovely day today, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, it's just great." And Eeyore would respond with, "Oh, it's just a regular day. Don't blame me if it rains." We all know someone like Eeyore in our life. This week, Mercury square Saturn wants it to be you. Don't be that person. Moving on to the second part of the week, Friday the 14th, Mercury will merge with the sun. Many astrologers absolutely love this transit because it's like a rebirth of Mercury. Anytime a planet merges with the sun, that planet gets burnt up essentially and then emerges anew on the other side of it. Mercury is our thoughts and ideas, and the sun brings attention to our personality and how we outwardly express ourselves to the world. Mercury merging with the sun is going to create the need for you to outwardly express your thoughts and your ideas. This can be a great thing if you use it creatively to work on some new projects, maybe bring forth some new fresh ideas, but it could also be you thinking that you're the only one with the best ideas, trying to push your thoughts and beliefs onto people because you know you're right. Do take some time to sit with your thoughts. You might gain a new perspective just thinking to yourself. Don't be so gung-ho about what you think is right that you disregard the thoughts of other people. The last bit of energy culminating at the very end of the week on Sunday the 16th, Venus will square Neptune. I haven't talked about Neptune yet at all in any of my previous videos, so I'm pretty excited about this one, but the aspect is a square, indicating that it's a tense, challenging connection. So, low vibe Neptune in our charts can speak to things not being as they appear. Neptune on a low vibe can be confusion, deception. It could be like Vaseline on a mirror. You not seeing yourself or the situation clearly. With Venus in the picture, this is happening within your relationships. There can also be a self-limiting factor with Venus in a tense conversation with Neptune because Venus also represents beauty and Neptune can be fog, like a fogginess. So maybe you're just feeling unpretty around this day, or maybe extra self-conscious, like you go out and you think that people are looking at you or talking about you, when in reality, people are so wrapped up in themselves that they could really care less about whatever you're doing. Now, from a relationship standpoint, the easiest way to describe Venus square Neptune would be rose-colored glasses. Let's say you're in a newer relationship and everyone around you is telling you this person's bad news, but you keep letting these things go, giving more chances, ignoring all the red flags. That's Venus square Neptune. Because of your longing need for affection or to be in a relationship, or maybe it's for some other reason. Either way, you're choosing which of your needs and desires you are going to succumb to. And many times this can lead to you being taken advantage of, or you just get hurt. On a positive note, if you're in a stable, mutual, loving, happy relationship, this can be a really sexy time because you both understand the dream. Neptune is the dream. And you want the same things because you share similar values, a Venus topic. Venus square Neptune is not the primal, passionate, release pent-up tension energy. This is the deeper connection, love-making energy. With that, I'm going to pull just one card this week to sum everything up. I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot, a wonderful beginner-friendly deck that gives a great visual of the original card meaning. And as always, I like to read the message from the Ultimate Guide of Tarot. I also like to call it the Big Biddy book because it was created by Biddy Tarot. Both the Modern Witch Tarot and the Ultimate Biddy book can be purchased on my Amazon storefront, and I've got links down below. All right, let's see what we've got today. All right, the Page of Swords. This card is all about staying curious and keeping an open mind as you seek out new perspectives. This is a wonderful card for this week. So let's see what Betty says. The Page of Swords is full of energy, passion, and enthusiasm. When this card shows up in a tarot reading, you're bursting with new ideas and plans for the future. You may be excited about starting a new project, pursuing a new approach, or learning something new. You have so much energy that you feel as though you could do almost anything. And you can. The challenge, however, is whether you can keep it up. As with all pages, the beginning always looks promising, but you need something else to follow through and keep up the pace. You're exploring a new way of thinking, a new idea, a new perspective, new knowledge, or a new technique. Swords relate to communication. The Page of Swords suggests that you're exploring a different way of expressing yourself with others and communicating your ideas and opinions. The Page of Swords can also represent your relationship with a person. You may have your moments with this page, as the swords often express a level of tension or conflict. You may need to give yourself a break from this person and return with fresh eyes. They have a lot to share with you, and despite their inexperience, may teach you something about yourself. You need to stay open to their enthusiasm to learn more about the world. This card is a reminder that this week is going to be geared toward focusing on the way you communicate. It's all about communication. And what better card to pick as like a communication reset with Mercury going through the heart of the sun, resetting some of our mental processes about how we think, what we think about certain things or certain people. This is also a reminder to not forget to give yourself some grace, practice self-care, take breaks from people when you need to, take breaks from certain conversations when you need to. With Mars squaring Pluto and Mercury squaring Saturn, there's going to be some touchy subjects that come up, some touchy conversation pieces that come up. There's going to be lots of frustration involved. What can you do to try to remember that everybody's entitled to their own perspective? Everybody's entitled to their own viewpoint. And how can you maybe be open to listening more? What can you do to actually try to hear the other person? If you have a communication pattern of being the dominant one in the conversation, or you needing to lead the conversation in some sort of way, or just needing that validation from another person to agree with you, this week, how can you shift your communication style a little bit? How can you open your mind with new ideas and see things from a perspective that's different than your own? Well, I hope this breakdown of what to expect this week was helpful and insightful. Please don't forget to hit all the buttons, subscribe to my channel so that you continue to get weekly insights. Also, I would really love to hear your stories and how the energy shows up for you. You can always feel free to comment down below and I will read and respond, answer questions, whatever. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you can book a personal reading on my website and we can go deeper within your individual chart and see how the transits are showing up for you. You can go to mtysastrology.com. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to my mailing list and I'll send you a free copy of my ebook, How to Parent Children by Their Moon Signs, because we know, as above, so below. I'll see you next week.